Hello, it's me again, and we are back in our Land of the Faraway tree, and today we're on chapter 16, the Land of Goodies. If you look at the book, we've got this much left, so we're over halfway through, but don't worry, I've ordered the next one. Okay, the Land of Goodies. The four children were rather naughty over the next few days. Rick and Joe quarrelled, and they fell over when they began to wrestle with one another, and they broke a little table. Then Beth scorched a tablecloth when she was ironing it, and Franny tore a hole in her clothes when she went picking blackberries. Really, you're very careless lately, said their mother. Joe, you'll mend that table as best as you can. Rick, you must help him, and if I see you quarrelling like that again, I shall send you both to bed at once. Now, Franny, why didn't you put your old clothes on when you went to pick blackberries, as I told you? Now you'll have to mend your clothes properly. Beth had to wash the tablecloth carefully to try and get the scorch marks out of it. Oh my, it's a pity all these things have happened this week, groaned Joe to Rick as the two boys did their best to mend the table. I'm afraid the Land of Goodies will be gone before we get there. I daren't ask Mother or Father if we can go off to the faraway tree. We've been so careless and they're sure to say no. Moonface and the others were wondering why we didn't go, said Beth, almost in tears. They were. The Land of Goodies had come, and a delicious smell kept coming down the ladder. Moonface waited and waited for the children to come, but they didn't. Then he heard that Land of Goodies was going to move away the next afternoon, and he wondered what to do. We said we'd wait for the children, but we don't want to miss going ourselves, he said to Silky. We'd better send a note to them. Perhaps something has happened to stop them coming. So they wrote a note and went down to ask the owl to take it. But he was asleep. So they went to the woodpecker, who had a hole in the tree for himself, and he said he would take it. He flew off with it in his beak, and he soon found the cottage and tapped on the window with his beak. A lovely woodpecker, cried Joe, looking up. See the red on his head? He's got a note for us. He opened the window. Sorry, my phone's running out of battery. He opened the window. Mother was there, in the same room as the children, and she looked surprised to see such an unexpected visitor. Joe took the note. The bird stayed on the windowsill waiting for an answer. Joe read it and then showed it to the others. They all looked rather sad. It was dreadful to know that the lovely Land of Goodies had come and was going so soon, and they couldn't visit it. Tell Moonface we've been in trouble and we can't come, said Joe. The bird spread its wings, but Mother looked up and spoke. Wait a minute, she said. Read me the notes. And Joe read it out loud. Dear Joe, Beth, Franny and Rick, the Land of Goodies is here and it goes tomorrow. We've waited and waited for you to come. If you don't come tomorrow, we shall have to go by ourselves. Can't you come? Love from Silky, Saucepan and Moonface. The Land of Goodies, said Mum in amazement. Well, I never did hear of such funny happenings. I suppose there are lots of nice things to eat there, and that's why you all want to go. Well, you haven't been in trouble lately, but you've done your best to put things right. You can go tomorrow morning. Mother, oh, Mother, thank you, cried the children. Thank you, Aunt Polly, said Rick, hugging her. Oh, how lovely. Tell Moonface we'll come as soon as we can tomorrow morning, said Joe to the listening woodpecker. He nodded his red splashed head and flew off. The children talked together, excited. I won't have any breakfast, said Beth. It's not much good going to the Land of Goodies unless we're hungry. That's a good idea, said Rick. I think we won't have any supper tonight either. So when the time came for the four children to set off to the enchanted wood, they were all terribly hungry. They ran to the faraway tree and climbed up it in excitement. I hope there's donuts, said Joe. I want chocolate mousse, said Beth. I can't begin to say the things I'd like, said greedy Rick. Well, don't, said Joe. Save your breath and hurry. You're being left behind. They got to Moonface's and shouted loudly to him. He came running out his tree in delight. Oh, God, he cried. You are nice and early. Silky, they're here. Go down and call old Saucepan. He's with Mr. What's-his-name. I'm sure Saucepan would like to come too. It wasn't long before 7 excited people were climbing up the ladder to the Land of Goodies. How they longed to see what it was like. Well, It was much better than anyone imagined. It was a small place set with little crooked houses and shops, and every house and shop was made from things to eat. The first house that the children saw was amazing. "Look at that house!" cried Joe. "Its walls are made of sugar and the chimneys are chocolate and the windowsills are peppermint cream." "And look at that shop!" cried Rick. "It's got walls made of chocolate and the door is made of marzipan and I'm sure the windowsills are gingerbread." The land of goodies really was very extraordinary. Everything in it seemed to be edible. And then the children caught sight of the trees and bushes and called out in surprise, "Look! That tree's growing muffins! And that one's got buds that are opening out into cakes! It's a cake tree! And look at this little tree here. It's growing big, flat, white flowers like plates, and the middle of the flowers is full of ice cream. Let's taste it." They tasted it, and it was ice cream. There was another small bush that grew clusters of curious-looking fruit, like flat berries of all colours, and, will you believe it, when the children picked the fruit, it was really little lollipops, all growing together neatly like a bunch of grapes. "Oh, lovely," said Joe, who liked lollipops very much. "Gosh, look at that white fence over there. Surely it's not made of marshmallow." It was. The children tore off pieces from the fence and munched the marshmallow. It was the nicest they'd ever tasted. The shops were full of things to eat. You should have seen them. Joe felt as if Joe felt as if he would like a hot dog, and he went into a hot dog shop. The rolls were tumbling out one by one out the machine, and the handles being turned by an odd-looking person. He was flat and golden brown and had raisin-like eyes. "I think he's a gingerbread man," whispered Joe to the others. "He's just like the gingerbread people that Mother makes for us." The children chose a hot dog each and went out munching. They wandered into the next shop. It had lovely big cakes set out into rows. Some were yellow, some were pink, and some were white. "Your name, please," said the funny little woman there, looking at Beth, who had asked for a cake. "Beth," said the girl in surprise. And there, in the middle of the cake, her name appeared in pink sugar letters. Of course, all the others wanted cakes too then, just to see their names come. "Oh, we shall never be able to eat all these," said Moonface, looking at the 7 cakes that had suddenly appeared. But you know, they tasted so delicious that it wasn't very long before they all went. Into shop after shop went the children and the others, tasting everything they could see. They had tomato soup, poached eggs, ginger buns, chocolate fingers, ice creams, and goodness knows what else. "Oh, well, I just can't eat anything more," said Silky at last. "I've been really greedy. I'm sure I'll be ill if I eat anything else." "Oh, Silky," said Rick, "don't stop. I can go on for quite a long time yet." "Rick, you're greedy, really greedy," said Joe. "You ought to stop." "Well, I'm not going to," said Rick, and the others looked at him. "You're getting very fat," said Joe suddenly. "You won't be able to get down the hole. You be careful, Rick. You're not getting into any more shops." "All right," said Rick sulky. But although he did not go into the shops, can you guess what he did? He broke off some of a gingerbread windowsill, and then he took a knocker from a door, and it was made of peppermint, and Rick sucked on it in delight. The others had not seen him do these things, but the man whose knocker Rick had pulled off did see him. He opened his door and came running out. "Hey!" he cried angrily. "Bring back my knocker at once, you bad naughty boy." Uh-oh. Okay, the next chapter is Rick Gets Everyone Into Trouble. I'll see you tomorrow.